Like, we have all the things, and so how fixable is it? And I mean, if I read the media, I would think we have a lot of problems. Like all these people, and I get to spend time with our people and say we're in really great shape, and I wouldn't trade our team or our situation for anyone else's.
Or what do you feel like could have been even better, where you guys would still be playing right now?
Yeah, I won't provide context. But whenever I provide context, it'll be looked at as an excuse. So I'll just be better next year.
So we all know that the Phoenix Suns was obliterated and swept by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the 2024 NBA playoffs. And after they was swept in the playoffs, they fired their coach, Frank Vogel. You know what I'm saying? They only had Frank Vogel for one season, and they signed him to a 5-year deal, I think. And I thought he was going to be there for at least 2-3 seasons, but they got rid of him real quick. And I actually liked them bringing him in. You know what I'm saying? He won a championship with the Lakers and LeBron in the bubble. And he actually got some defensive-minded schemes, but yeah, I just guess they didn't think he was the right fit, so they got rid of him. And 24 hours later, they decided to hire Mike Budenholzer. And Mike Budenholzer do have a good resume. You know what I'm saying? He got 2 Coach of the Years. He won Coach of the Year with the Atlanta Hawks in 2015, which he did have a pretty good squad of Jeff Teague, Al Horford, you know, and Kyle Korver and them guys. They had a good little playoff stint that 2015 year, so he won it that year. And he also won the Coach of the Year 2019, you know what I'm saying, with Giannis and the Bucks. So Mike Budenholzer isn't a bad coach, but it was just kind of like, dang, like Frank Vogel had one season to get it done. Like, that's kind of insane to me, you know what I'm saying? And Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, is the one who decided to make these big trades for Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, giving up all their young assets like Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and others. So I don't know. It's just kind of messed up how this league is doing these coaches nowadays. It has been rumors that, you know, they got rid of Frank Vogel because he might be going back to the Lakers. We know that the Lakers, you know, fired Darvin Ham after 2 seasons. So, you know, it was talks about Frank Vogel maybe going back to the Lakers. You know, they're familiar with Frank Vogel and they won a championship with him. So, I mean, I would be a little surprised if they went for Frank Vogel, just seeing that they fired him not long ago, and he only had 1 year stint with the Phoenix Suns. So, and we seen chemistry issues with the coach and Bradley Beal. It was like a time where Bradley Beal was coming back from the game, and Frank Vogel was trying to give him a little handshake, and Bradley Beal pretty much ignored him. So, a lot of people had speculations about him getting fired, but after 1 season though, it's just kind of crazy. Like, is Frank Vogel really the problem? I don't think so. I think the problem with the Phoenix Suns is, for number one, the lack of size. Okay, you got Nurkic, who, you know, Nurkic isn't the best center. You know what I'm saying? He isn't the best center. He's really, if you ask me, he's really average. You know what I'm saying? He's a really average center. And other than Nurkic, you didn't have any other big men. So Kevin Durant, who's 35, going on 36, has to play the center at times, which isn't right. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Durant, to me, is a 3 at heart. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Durant should really be playing the 3. It's already pushing it that he's playing the 4. So him playing the 5 was just kind of like, okay, yeah, they're doomed in the series. And we all know that Minnesota have 3 great big men in Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, and Karl-Anthony Towns. So just the size alone was just too much for the Phoenix Suns. And the depth, you know what I'm saying? After Grayson Allen went down with that injury, that ankle injury, I believe, they was doomed. You know what I'm saying? Grayson Allen was, you know, a part of their depth. You know what I'm saying? A nice shooter. He actually is a starter, you know what I'm saying? And I like Grayson Allen. They signed him to an extension, a 2-year or 3-year extension, I think. So we know that Grayson Allen will be there for the long haul. But that was a big reason of, I think, you know, they got swept too. Grayson Allen was injured. And other than that, they don't really got any guys that they can really plug in from the bench. You know what I'm saying? You haven't been playing Josh Okogie. You haven't been playing Isaiah Thomas. You haven't been playing any of those guys. So when you look at their depth, they need to work on that also. And I think the biggest factor that everybody's been talking about is that they don't have a true point guard. They don't have a true facilitator to get Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal in their spots. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's also a big issue. I don't think it's the coach. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy to me that, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me that you build this super team of the big 3 and you get rid of all your assets, and then you put all this pressure on the coach to get it done in 1 season? It's crazy. But it is kind of like they had all this pre-planned, you know. Budenholzer probably had this job as soon as they got swept, it seemed like, because less than 24 hours after Frank Vogel is fired, they hire Mike Budenholzer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was kind of pre-planned. And hopefully, you know, Mike Budenholzer is the answer. You know what I'm saying? He won the championship with Giannis in 2021. But he was fired in 2023 after they, you know, had an upsetting playoff loss to the 8th seed Miami Heat. and we all know that Milwaukee was the #1 seed that year. So I ain't gonna lie, I see why they fired him that year. But he won a championship with them, and it was kind of a little bit of a debate back then. You know what I'm saying? The Bucks GM said back then it was a tough decision to fire Mike Budenholzer, but he thought it was time. You know what I'm saying? And I think Mike Budenholzer is a good coach, but I just don't think he's the answer. I think they need a lot more. They need to make a lot more changes, to the Phoenix Suns roster if they want to compete next year. You know what I'm saying? You still got this. Look at the teams right now. You know what I'm saying? You need more size, you need more depth, and you need more playmaking. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying? You depended too much on an old Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Durant is on the back end of his career. And like I was saying in my other videos, I think Bradley Beal and Devin Booker need to pick Kevin Durant on the shoulders a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Let Kevin Durant, just shoot. Just let Kevin Durant score. You know what I'm saying? But we need a playmaker. If Bradley Beal gonna be the point guard, or if Devin Booker gonna be the point guard, be the point guard. You know what I'm saying? Actually get people involved. Don't look to score. And if you look at Bradley Beal averages this playoffs, it's kind of like You know what I'm saying? He played really mid. Averaged 16.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.8 rebounds per game. So if you ask me, you could have got more out of Bradley Beal the whole season. He was up and down with injuries and this, that, and the other. So I think, next season they need a lot more out of Bradley Beal. I mean, like the owner said, he thinks that they're still close to a championship. He don't think that they're far away from a championship, and he thinks that this big three is he's gonna keep this big three together. Basically, that's what he said. I even see in the podcast with Isaiah Thomas, he literally said that too. He don't think the Phoenix Suns are going to trade any of the big three. So just knowing that you're going to go forward with this expensive big three, it's going to be hard for you to build a team around it. So I'll be surprised to see what they do in the offseason, to see if they can get a facilitator, maybe a defender, and maybe some more size. You know what I'm saying? You need maybe a backup center, or maybe even a new starting center, and maybe move Nurkic to the bench. You need to figure something out. You know what I'm saying? Nurkic is still a double-double machine, but you just need somebody that's going to really hold down the paint. And Nurkic has not been doing that. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me, he's not the best defender down there. He can grab rebounds for you, but you need more of a rim protector down there. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you got Kevin Durant playing the 4. You need some real size. And yeah, man, I think it's going to be hard for them to build a team, with this expensive big three. I think you keep Kevin Durant. You think you keep Devin Booker. But if I was the GM, I would get rid of Bradley Beal. I just don't think that trade was needed. You know what I'm saying? I think after they made that big trade for KD, they should have kind of chilled out. You know what I'm saying? You had CP3, you had DeAndre Ayton. We all know that DeAndre Ayton wanted to get out of Phoenix badly, so I see why they got rid of him. But I think you should have kept CP maybe for another year, see if it worked, because he's that facilitator that they need right now. You know what I'm saying? I know you want this big three. But if you look at this big three, you just got 3 ISO players, 3 scoring machines. So I think you need to decide, like I said, who's the point guard, who's the playmaker. And they really just need to decide, they need to really fix this starting lineup up right now, because their starting lineup right now is Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen, Kevin Durant, and Nurkic. And if you ask me, that's not enough defense at all. You got nobody on that team that's anywhere close to the top defenders in the league. And you look at all these teams that's winning in the playoffs now, they have a defender that they can rely on. You got Lou Dort and OKC. Knicks got OG Anunoby. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need somebody like that to plug into your roster, that you could pit on the best player on the other side that can slow somebody down. The Phoenix Suns couldn't slow down the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards was talking crap to KD, and there's nothing that they could do about it. You know what I'm saying? Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns were tearing them up down low. So yeah, man, I don't know. They fired Frank Vogel after 1 season, so hopefully Mike Budenholzer is the answer for these guys. Hopefully he can figure something out. But it'd be insane to me if they don't fire him after 1 season, because I can't see the Phoenix Suns making that big of a change this offseason that's going to really help them push for a championship next season. And I ain't going to lie, this season at the beginning, I was hoping for the Phoenix Suns to win. I was hoping for them to get to the playoffs, get to the championship, because I'm a Kevin Durant fan. Y'all see the jersey. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big Kevin Durant fan, and I wanted to see him get to the finals. But now that I'm seeing just the landscape of the league, I don't think that they'll get back. And a lot of people saying Kevin Durant's worst decision was leaving Steph Curry. So I do agree. I think Kevin Durant needs to prove to the world that he could do something without Steph Curry. The furthest he got is with the Brooklyn Nets when he hit that crazy shot on Giannis. But ever since then, he began swept. And just it hasn't been looking good for KD. But KD getting too old for I think Kevin Durant is getting too old to be the #1 option, and he's still been looking like the #1 option for the Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker had a shaky series against the T-Wolves. He didn't play the worst, but he definitely could have played better in my opinion. He had a good game 4, but other than that, he wasn't the best Devin Booker. So I think going forward, I like what KD said. He just don't want to make any excuses. He just want to be better going forward. But I feel bad for KD. You know what I'm saying? You too old, KD, to be having to carry this team and play the 5 and make all these sacrifices. I think your team should be kind of set, especially if you axing out of teams. He axed out of Brooklyn to go to Phoenix specifically for the fit, and it hasn't been looking like a good fit, KD. I ain't gonna lie. Like, y'all haven't, you know what I'm saying, just to get swept like that. I really had Phoenix winning. I had Phoenix winning the series. Maybe I did underrate the T-Wolves a little bit, and maybe I did overrate the Phoenix Suns. For sure. I definitely overrated the Phoenix Suns this season. But yeah, man, you guys let me know down below in the comments what changes you think the Phoenix Suns should make to improve this roster. Like I said, I think for 1, they need a facilitator. 2, they need a defender. And 3, they need an extra big body. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even keep Nurkic, but you need an extra big body down low. That's going to get boards, protect the rim, and etc. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, do me a big favor. Please smash that like button. Leave me a comment so that the videos can keep coming for you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. You dig?